So with Aeolian, we learned that we need to do the sharp fifth or the minor sixth in order to induce a very Aeolian and minor sounding chord. You know, that would sound something like from the A minor to something that sounds like this. A little bit more dramatic. Hey, we're here. And I say we should waste no time. We're gonna go look at Aeolian the second time. And we're gonna figure out what chords, you play if you wanna sound like you're playing Aeolian. Let's start with the way I do all the rest of them. And that is showing you what the modes are. Okay, what's Aeolian? Well, I'm not gonna explain it a whole lot. But if you do know, if you do need some of this, this is showing you some whole steps and some half steps from a traditional key or mode, and it looks like Aeolian is here in number 6. So this is otherwise known as minor, natural minor. There's definitely some minor chords, and then there's minor 7 chords. But is there any more chord that's more minor than that? We'll find out here today. Okay, so I'm here in key of C, C major. We know the relative minor is going to be A minor, and if you have no idea how to find that, all you have to do is go down 3 half steps or 3 frets, I guess, from where you started. So I've got C here, and then 1, 2, 3. So this into sounds very, very natural. Or C major is a key, and then what about A minor? Well, it's like they're all the same notes and stuff like that. We got to start that, of course, by marking all of the A notes. We've got the main one, root here, the A note on the 5th fret, 6th string. And music theory says in order to make a chord, we needed a 3rd and we needed a 5th in addition to the root or the home bass note. If I'm going to count up from the scale, we got A, B, C, D, E. It's going to be our 5th. So we've got A and E, power chord. We need something to distinguish whether it's major or minor. We need the 3rd. It's its whole point. It's the whole point of having the 3rd. It comes to scale degrees. And if I just count A, 1, and then 2 is B, and then C will actually be our 3rd. I'll mark it for a sec, just so you can see it's in green. Yeah, if I just take that away for just a second, you can see we've got all the different notes here up on the fretboard. And if you're familiar with the cage system, you can find them out pretty easily. We've got, let's make this a bit thicker. Right? So that's an E chord. This was my shape. This finger doesn't do anything, it's behind the nut, but as soon as I move it up, and this index finger's now on the 5th fret, got ourselves an A minor chord. Now what? Well, we need to find another note that makes Aeolian, or makes minor, or makes it more interesting, right? Some people will say the 7th, but the 7th is shared between 2 different modes. Is there any note that we can find that actually is unique to Aeolian? Well, the answer is yes. And that answer is actually a minor 6th. What am I talking about with minor 6? So again, we're going to start up here at A. Maybe I'll highlight the scale. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This interval is called a minor 6. So in Dorian, if we just erase all these for a second, last time we learned that Dorian is very, very similar to Aeolian, but it's not quite the same, and we know it's D, and if I just kind of outline the shape for a second, we learned Dorian was related to this, right? And as you can see, the first 3 notes, very, very similar to minor. Even the first 5 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But it's this note, this major 6 interval, that is different. And so B is important to Dorian, but we've just learned that this F is important to Aeolian, which is why we're going to mark it. So let's go back. Let's mark the 6th, 3rd, the 5th, and the root. And now we have an interesting host of colors that should tell us something. One thing I haven't done on prior streams that I would like to start doing is to make fun shapes out of this, right? What a lot of people do, and it's certainly what I did when I first started playing guitar, is you learn those kind of shapes that I was showing you earlier, the E, the C, the G, the D, and you would learn sweep picking patterns with them. So it'd be kind of like, and then, and maybe some other stuff like. So we learned all these things, but after a while they get a little bit stale. Adding in more notes, making the arpeggios that you're playing more interesting is what's going to add in a little bit more spice in your life. So what I wanted to start doing is look at some of these shapes, and I've already found one that kind of looks fun. That is technically playing an arpeggio. That is technically playing the A, the root, the E, the 5th, the C, the 3rd, and the F, which is this minor 6. But it doesn't feel like an arpeggio, not like your traditional, sweep picking arpeggio. It feels like something different, and that's what's really, really cool about this. And that's now another tool in your toolbox. When you want to play a minor arpeggio, you can add in this F, or just remember this kind of easy symmetrical shape. And you've got something cool out of it. What is this chord? We've got 4 unique notes. F, E, A, and C. What kind of chord is this? Where you just have to Google chord namer and everything just works out. Everything works out all right. All right, so what did we say? A, E, C, and F, I believe. So let's find a name. And I'm interested in the ones that have A assumed to be the root note, which is going to be this A add sharp 5. And it does make sense. If I'm dealing with a chord here and I've got just going to play A minor, and you could say we're going to add in a minor 6, and that minor 6 can be translated as a sharp 5. Very, very dramatic. Way more dramatic than just your traditional minor chord, which is already pretty dramatic and sad. But if you just add in that sharp 5th, it sounds really, really in its own element. Here, let me zoom in what I'm doing. So I've got the E shape in the cage system. I know the 5th is the E here, and I'm just gonna sharp it, put it on my pinky on it, like this. So the other E is up here, so we can add it. That kind of sounds like something like this. It kind of reminds me of that move of something that you don't really end on. It kind of sounds like something you do before you play A minor. What I mean by that is you kind of, you're jamming out, going, do F. Kind of something like that. To be fair, though, the reason why it sounded like I was transitioning to F earlier is, because, these are all the notes that make up an F major chord. If I just, it turns out F major 7, it's just a face. But if you have F major 7, turns out you are playing a very, very sad, minor type chord, Aeolian chord, so to speak. And this is kind of what I wanted to get into. So if I'm going to make a chord progression and it's all going to sound really Aeolian, I might have one chord that going to be that sharp 5th, like this.
one of the chords in the chord progression might be that F major 7 to really sound minor. And it's a really big tip if you get an A minor into an F major 7, you know, very close in the chord progression, you are free to play Aeolian. It just makes sense to. What I learned last time is that you might be able to add another note to get another cool chord out of it. And what I mean by that is we've already found one where A minor sharp 5, add sharp 5 works great. And if you want to also be Aeolian, you're in the key of C or in the key of A minor, you want to add an F major 7 to really sound Aeolian. What other chords can I add? Well, really what you got to do is just add other notes in the key. So I'm going to add this D, and let's see what other things is going to come out of it. So D minor 9. I'm just going to very quickly do like a A minor sharp 5 kind of chord progression, like that. Then we'll go to F major 7, and then we'll go to D minor 9. So all of that is really, really focusing in on that F note and really making it very, very important. But let's take a look for a second. And this is what I like to do. See if anyone else is saying the same stuff. Before this time, the last time I looked into this is the first time I heard of sharp 5 before as a chord. I'm curious if any other person is using a sharp 5 to portray Aeolian. All right, so we're looking for D minor 9, we're looking for F major 7, we're looking for A minor sharp 5, add sharp 5, whatever. Okay, you're going to show me the chords? Usually you do. To say a thank you to ElevatedJam for providing a backing track. Maybe use a A minor sharp 5 or something in the next one. Let's see if anyone else has any of these very important Aeolian type chords that we talked about. But really, yeah, the F major 7 is really going to go for it. And let's see if I can just play along for a second, see what they're talking about. It's F major 7. Okay, yeah, I mean, it sounds good. So this is what I thought we were going to get a lot of when we're talking about Aeolian. You know, it's the saddest of all keys. But, you know, I expected some more ballads in my life. And really, we got kind of two funk-ish type of energy type tracks. Happy jamming. Yeah, okay, I'll be the judge of that. Yeah, this is slow tempo. This is where you're like... Yngwie Malmsteen. Okay, so the last time I looked this up, this is cheating a little bit. We're actually changing modes when we go to the E major. This is technically putting us in a harmonic minor territory. But let's just kind of listen to what it sounded like. Yeah, especially when we're doing kind of some of the diminished stuff. Yeah, is this is G sharp? That is not, that G sharp note is not in the key of C or in the key of A minor. It's not in Aeolian. groovy. Show me the chords right here. A minor, D minor, A minor, D minor. Yeah, fair enough. Got to be a little bit careful when they're using diminished stuff like that. Ooh. It's like a Stevie Wonder thing. You got to be careful there. I mean, so we're looking for a C sharp, and we say A augmented. Okay. Does that have a C sharp in it? Yes, it does. Okay. So yeah, on some of those chords, it won't be exactly right to play Aeolian, but I mean, it works. And I like this. I love chord progressions and backing tracks that make you change keys in the middle and think a little bit more. Something tells me I might come back to this one and just do a small little analysis, like, okay, I'd play this here and I'd play that here, and show all the outline chord notes just like they do. And maybe we get something a little bit different from it. Thank you, ElevatedJamTracks. I will say you're a little bit more elevated than the competition. So with Aeolian, we learned that we need to do the sharp fifth or the minor sixth in order to induce a very Aeolian and minor sounding chord. You know, that would sound something like from the A minor to something that sounds like this. A little bit more dramatic. And we learned a couple more chords, specifically if we have that A minor, if we play an F major 7, that chord movement in a short space of the chord progression illustrates that we are also in Aeolian. We had on the 2 chord that we could play that minor ninth. Focusing in on that, we know that ballads are very good for Aeolian. We know that kind of minor funk and minor blues type chord progressions and styles are very much Aeolian and very important. And just like every other mode, we know that focusing in on those most important notes are what's going to portray the mode. It's what's going to make you sound like you're playing Aeolian. Throw in a minor sharp fifth in there if you're comping and you just want to sound a little bit more minor, a little bit more Aeolian than just playing something else, just playing a major 7 or a minor 7 or something like that. This is Been Critical Guitar. My name is Cole, and I'll catch you next time, all right? Peace.